Hi, First Baptist family. My name is John Lewis, and I'm on mission in Eastern Canada.
The mission team from First Baptist Church Biloxi arrived on May the 11th, a Saturday night. It was a long travel day for them because it's approximately 2,100 miles to get from Biloxi to Goose Bay, Labrador. On Sunday morning, the mission team attended a worship service where they were presented with an appreciation gift by the congregation. And that night we had supper at one of our elders' homes, Dr. Robert Forsey and his wife Bev, as they prepared a wonderful meal for us. We planned out the week as a group because there were several projects that needed to be tackled. The problem with the underbrush in the wooded areas surrounding the church was a big problem. We didn't have much snow this winter, so there was a real danger of fires this summer, as everything was drier than usual. Also, there's a problem with security because occasionally we do have some transients living in the wooded areas around the church. We have found areas where campfires were started. Also, there's a problem of trash being left around the campus there, and that just makes it unsightly for our neighbors and for those who attend the church. With all these projects in mind, we are blessed that the days are longer as we head into summer, so that gave us much daylight in order to accomplish these tasks. We wanted to get the brush, especially in the front of the church, trimmed back and cut so that we would have increased visibility, especially on Sunday mornings. The fallen trees that were on the sides of the building created hazards because we do have pedestrian traffic that goes through our property from time to time. We don't want pedestrians to have to face any hazards from these fallen trees. The brush around the church building was quite thick and it was heavy, therefore we needed to rent equipment in order to accomplish our task. We also had to buy blades, oil, and fuel for the equipment in order to get everything done. This can also add up quickly and be quite expensive. I concentrated on the area on the north side of the church where the sheds are located. Here there are heavy willow trees growing. These willows look like tall, thin branches sticking out of the ground. Before we could start any of these tasks, we had to do a trash pickup, and we picked up at least 6 full bags of trash just around the church building and the areas where we were working. We did need a good video surveillance system for this church building, and we are tremendously grateful for First Baptist Biloxi for purchasing this system, transporting it up here, and installing the gear. Installation of a camera system like this in a church building is not easy, but fortunately Mike and Josh were willing to take on the task. They climbed up into the attic numerous times, as well as inside and outside the building, climbing on ladders to install the cameras, and we are very grateful. And as Jeff and Pat worked outside, Rita and Suzi worked inside, working diligently on placing that window tint on all of the church windows. The window tint was very necessary in that it provides additional security, not only for the worship services, but also for the many rental groups that we have throughout the week. They also did all the food preparation for us daily for lunch. On Monday morning, we got started early. Mike and Josh began the installation of the video surveillance system. Pat and Jeff only had 1 brush cutter and 1 chainsaw, yet they got to work on the south side of the building clearing that dense and heavy brush. I concentrated on the area around the shed, and I used pruning shears to clear the willow trees. On Tuesday morning, you can see the branches and the trees were piling up that Pat and Jeff were cutting, and we needed to dispose of them later in the week. Mike and Josh helped Pat and Jeff with clearing the brush on the south side of the building. On Tuesday afternoon, the site manager from Bell Alliant, one of our business neighbors, she came over and told us how appreciative she was of everything we were doing in clearing all the brush. She actually sent 2 of her workers who were doing chainsaw recertification to come over and help us by clearing some of the trees and cutting them up for removal. We finished Tuesday with a wonderful dinner at a place called Mariner Seafood that's located just outside the old base. By Wednesday morning, we were about 80% complete with clearing the brush on the south side of the church building. On Thursday, the team had cut all of the brush down from the south side of the church and was working on the brush in the front of the church. We rented a wood chipper, but unfortunately it turned out to be very underpowered for what we needed. So we were in a rush to get rid of all the brush that we had cut down. Now thankfully, Dr. Robert Forsey loaned us his brand new truck and one of his trailers to haul away all of these trees and brush that we had cut down. And another church member, Brian Davis, allowed us to bring this debris out to his farm and to use it as organic charcoal. The team worked late into Thursday, clearing up all the debris and hauling it off the church property. Friday meant that they were going to have a sightseeing day, and I took them around town to show them different sites and some of the different stores that we have here. We also traveled up the Northwest River, and we had lunch at the Riverside Restaurant. I also took them to the indigenous reservation called Sheshashi. On the way back into town, we stopped at an outdoor sporting goods shop. Later, we went to supper at a place called Trapper's, where you cook your own steak. We had a good time with some of the folks from the church congregation as well. Saturday morning meant an early departure because it is a long way to get back to Biloxi. This mission trip was a tremendous success, and we are all so very thankful for everything that the team did for us here at Northern Cross.
Thank you for your support, and thank you very much for sending that mission team up here to help us. We thank you so much, and I'll look forward to giving you an update soon in the near future. Thank you, and God bless.